during unpaid
So you know we're rolling again
leave
too.
of absence. And basically, the only language change is saying the leave of absence is exceeding 7 days.
Well, what they're changing, responsible for their portion, now is responsible for insured premiums. So where it used to be,
What they've stricken
the city would,
was their initial offer. This language has never been there before. So what they've stricken was their first offer, and now they've amended it again. So understand that whole insured employee paying it has never been there before. They added that last time we met. You following?
So the part they struck, they tried to add last time.
Correct. And then they changed the
Which,
language.
yeah, which doesn't show me, that shouldn't even be there then.
Right.
If it should only show me what the changes are over what is currently in place, not
Right.
changes from a previous offer.
I would agree with you, but that's why I wanted to make sure that I pointed that out. It's never been in there before. This is all new language. And I'm very interested to see what their opinion is on if a guy goes out on paternity leave for a month, are you gonna make him pay his full family when he just had a baby? And all of these new expenses are hitting them?
Well, as he's pointing out, let's say you've got a new guy who's unlucky and gets sick a lot, and he doesn't have any leave time. And he's got FMLA time, he's got 12 weeks that he can use, but during that 12 weeks, he's gonna be responsible for both his portion and the employer's portion of
That's
the
what they're
insurance
proposing.
premiums.
right,
I don't like that.
while he's not working.
Right.
Which he can't afford, nobody can afford it. You might as well just say he's unemployed.
God forbid we hire 2 female employees who get pregnant immediately upon graduation from the academy and can't work. God forbid that were to happen.
Oh,
I can't imagine it ever happening, but if that ever did happen, it would be an issue.
I will choose my words carefully since there are still important.
And so in the past, they've always covered the insurance premiums when you're out.
Yeah, this has never been a thing before.
Holy crap.
Luckily, we don't have too many pregnant weekends. Although,
Sir, how are you? Good morning.
Are you recording?
So I am.
Okay.
So just before we go any further, just for clarity, the language that you struck was what was proposed last time, right? 'Cause none of this language has ever been in the contract before. So the language that you have struck in 13.2 was the proposal from last time?
Hold on.
Is that not in the contract?
Yeah, hold on. No, sir. What's stricken was in there. The employee shall be responsible for their portion of
Okay.
insurance premiums for single independent coverage during unpaid leave of absence. That was in there. This is,
But to your, so it was a good question, good enough that we gotta pull that back, address it, and then we're gonna come back to you. So if we can
Okay.
just if you give us some time, we'll address that point. We just gotta come back and reevaluate.
Okay.
Article 16, annual leave, under 16.5, we had previously provided the striking the word termination and inserting the word separation. Sorry, that was not provided previously.
Okay.
What was provided previously was,
Correct, the point there is that it's not always gonna be a termination. So we
16.8.
need separation to cover both
Huh?
instances where it's not
No.
always termination. That was the only point there.
right there.
comfortable with that, I'm
oh, yeah.
comfortable with
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, today, that would be.
Thank you. Thank you. Article 17, hours of work, under 17.3, we had proposed that, just kind of rewording that a little bit, in that the first sentence would now say, in the event that a state of emergency is declared by the city of Port Orange, versus the previous, in the event that a emergency status is declared.
That's no, we just don't know what that means. What is emergency status? We know what a state of emergency is. I don't know what emergency status. We're always in emergency status, aren't we?
Every day.
Yeah.
I don't see any substantive change there at all.
Good.
Under Article 19, sick leave, Article 19.1, second to last line there, changing for disciplinary action or dismissal to just to disciplinary action including dismissal.
You want the up to and including in there, or are you just good with including?
We just thought or was a misnomer because it is, that actually is a type of disciplinary action, so they wouldn't do or.
I don't know that or is technically the proper term either, because I could go, well, I get disciplined,
I think up to and including.
I'm good with that
Fix it.
language as you proposed it, but it says, discipline including dismissal. Well, I'd go, well, my discipline didn't include dismissal, I was only suspended, therefore.
Gotcha, yeah, so you up to and including?
Would fix it.
Yeah,
I'm
yep,
good with that. Can we just do a quick?
sure.
Yeah. I think John's working on
Yep, I've got it. So it would say cause for disciplinary action up to and including dismissal.
it.
Yep.
No, there was something else in that one there.
19.8 is just a formatting, for whatever reason, it didn't get numbered, that paragraph did not get numbered, so, I mean, and then the last one
That
there on the
affected
list.
everything below it.
I think, John, you said they already agreed to this sick leave,
We discussed it.
or discussed, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
That's just removed, officially
Yep.
removing that.
Where's the change?
The very
This-
last,
Page 36, striking 1911 sick leave bank.
No, which is why it wasn't a big deal. Al- Although, again, treading lightly, if the policy's gonna change on light duty, that sick leave bank may be something that would be more considered by the guys. So I don't know where we're going with the light duty thing.
I would say the
but-
city's probably open to doing it, it was just kind of this legacy language, it was like, we're gonna, if you read the language, it's like, we're gonna work on this, and then I asked, like, are we working on this? Or it's never been a thing, so now it just sits there as a, we're gonna work on it, but it doesn't do anything. This is language that doesn't have any effect, but we could always go back to that if that's something you guys want. I mean, we could come back to the table and say, yeah, the city has no, there's no dog in that fight. I mean,
Right.
if you
Well-
guys are pooling sick leave for a.
No, his only issue is, we know the city's probably working on coming up with a new light duty policy, And he's like, well, in theory, if light duty didn't become available, then there might be more interest in a sick
In the
leave
sick
bank from
leave
our
bank.
side, but
Mhm.
I don't think that's gonna be an issue.
And we're not taking away that interest either, like, if you truly are interested and you want us, you say, hey, here's what we're gonna do as far as a sick leave bank, or we wanna put something together, I don't think the city's at odds with that.
Yeah, I'm not highly concerned about it. It's just, that has changed since the last time we sat here and talked.
Yeah, well, and you'll see,
It is all-
you'll see the policy,
Yeah.
have your chance to kind of give input and that sort of thing.
I'm,
You're okay?
yeah.
All right, we're good.
So are you good with,
All of 19.
okay,
That was it, right?
yep,
Just the renumbering and then the sick leave
Yep.
bank.
So I'll leave Article 23 bereavement leave with you. I believe that we have answered your concerns from our last meeting on it, so if, and the biggest issue with this is clarifying, the definition of family being immediate family and who is covered under immediate family, and that is far broader than what was previously included.
Previously,
Um,
correct me if I'm wrong, it was just family,
Correct.
right? So we
Correct.
define family as we want to do, which is far broader than this.
No, that is true, but we clarified it in civil service policies and procedures.
Yeah, rather than leaving it open to interpretation.
Right. Yeah. And that has been a subject of various questions over the last year, which is why the city felt the need to clarify it.
Cause I consider Tom my brother, so.
We had individuals asking, for bereavement for third cousins. So it kind of had us question, exactly who qualifies for bereavement leave.
There's always a couple that spoil it for everyone, huh?
No, your turtle is not your
Yeah.
your child.
Right. You'll always be my brother though.
I'm not anti, there are some relationships there though that I would want to attend
Which
that
ones?
aren't covered. Let's say, mom remarries, guy raises me but never adopts me. He's really my dad, but it's not legally defined in there. There's one.
So that
Well,
might,
but he's not, cause,
that might be a loco parentis situation though, that they.
Yeah, because that would
stood
be
in-
father-in-law.
Yeah, that would be, if it's,
well, no.
Married to your mother.
Yeah, he's married to my mother.
yeah,
And
Correct.
raised me, but
Right.
never adopted me.
Still, that would fall under father-in-law.
No, father-in-law would be the father of my
stepfather,
wife.
stepfather.
It would have to fall under stepfather, but if,
Step-parents, right there.
yeah, if I'm not adopted, is
Yeah.
he really my step?
Yeah.
I'm being picky, right? We have family friends that are much tighter than some of my
Mhm.
family, that aren't covered by this for sure. That's an easier one.
When they
Right.
legal interpretation, green light,
Yeah,
go to that one,
yeah.
Yeah.
good to go.
But
That would
if
not
we're
be-
gonna leave it
yeah,
to.
That would not be questioned.
If, yeah,
by
if you're
us.
gonna leave it to me, if my guys come to me and say, hey, look, you know, my best friend growing up all my life passed away, is not covered under this, can I take bereavement for that? If you're gonna let me make that call, I'm perfectly comfortable with that. The problem with that is now I'm outside
well,
the
yeah,
boundaries of
wouldn't
the
be-
I mean,
contract.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate to be on their side of the table, but
Yeah.
realistically, you gotta draw the line, bright lines, because
Some, right.
every time you
Agreed.
wanna go visit anybody, they were my best friend growing up, you know, so.
Would the city, if you had that situation and you
Yeah.
asked for time off to go to the funeral, then that would fall under your sick or vacation leave. That wouldn't be bereavement leave, but I don't think your chief would deny a relationship like that to
He's
take
pretty
time off.
hard, like,
Yeah,
I would not.
and in the end, it's
Yep.
the lieutenants who are
Yep.
making the time off calls anyway,
Yep.
so.
I mean, I recently had a situation like this. Person was no longer married to the individual for 15 years-ish, and they passed away, and I didn't deny them going to the funeral,
Right.
but they had to use, their own time.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with it. There are just, you can't cover everything in this.
That is correct.
But there are definitely some relationships that are closer than family to folks
Right.
that we are not accounting for in this, that's all. And there's no way you can account for it, I get it, but,
Yep.
And bereavement is not an accrual time.
Right.
It's a, an extra benefit that, again, should be for specific purposes. And we wish to leave it for immediate family as defined here.
I'm good with it, if you're good with it.
but we are giving something up. For sure, because right now, we define family.
Oh.
And now the city's wanting to define it.
I don't know that you define it, I mean, it's undefined, so,
Yes, you're right.
we have to,
Yeah.
go on practice.
Yeah, that's where
Right.
that's where past
Right.
practice
Yeah.
sets in.
And these are who we have approved. And when we've had the people, like I said, where we find out it was my, former spouse or, my best friend, we're not denying it, it's just not being given the bereavement benefit.
Yeah.
So that is still subject to our interpretation of what falls under family.
Right, but this would eliminate that interpretation as it's defining it.
That would be correct. But I
So
believe
we are
it's
giving
very,
something up,
Yep,
so
I-
we're clear.
I don't think I don't know that the practice is broader than that.
What's
no, it's not. Because
I
we
would
did not
agree.
have.
I think it's
Yep.
gotten broader is what
Yeah,
I'm
we
saying.
did not previously have legally placed foster child.
We didn't have anything, we had
correct.
family. That's what we had.
But the city's
Family.
practice in giving that has been a narrower practice than what is on this piece of
Mhm.
paper.
From our side, have any lieutenants taken
No,
bereavement leave for? Yeah.
that's not the point,
I
that's not the point.
I hear you loud and clear.
you know? I don't mind, I'm comfortable with this, but understand that we are giving here. That's what I need, is the recognition that we are giving something up here. Right? Our
Understood.
ability to define family versus the city's strictly defined term of immediate, or family. It's going from family to immediate family and being very closely defined. So if my cousin passes, I'm not covered. I gotta take time off. My first cousin.
in order to issue.
Which has been approved, I'm certain, in the past.
Was first cousin John in the original?
No, sir.
I just wondered.
But what started this was
I
an
know.
extended cousin, and they wanted to go, and it's, they hadn't seen them, doesn't matter when they saw them last, but, I mean, that wasn't a family.
Yeah.
Correct.
And yeah, I get it. I mean, I get that point.
Yeah.
I love
Right.
my cousin.
Right, yeah, you came up with them, they're the same age as
Yeah.
you, roughly, and you're not covered to go to your cousin's funeral under this policy. Which I would absolutely have given my guy bereavement for in the past. So we are absolutely giving something up. I just want that noted.
In other words, we'll be asking for something in the future.
Yes. Yes, but otherwise, if you guys are good, I'll TA it.
Article 24, two changes. Under 24.1, we added October 1st, 2024, or upon ratification of this agreement, whichever is later. Again, that was not put in there to say we're trying to extend negotiations. I've been very adamant. We're trying to get this hopefully on the second meeting in August. So, we're not looking for that, but again, just to be consistent with prior years. So still the 5% increase for all. And then under 24.5, we sat down and reworded this. We're very comfortable with it. Affected the first full pay period following October 1st, 2024, or upon ratification of this agreement, whichever is later, for fiscal year 2025 only. Current employees will receive a one-time payment of $4,250. This one-time lump sum payment is considered pensionable wages. So we wanted to be very clear that it is, again, city's intent that is pensionable.
The problem with it is the definition of
Yep.
compensation in the pension ordinance.
Yep.
It's not here,
Yep.
it's in the pension ordinance. It clearly says if you're gonna, one-time lump sums are excluded, clearly says that, except for vacation and sick sellback for employees hired prior to 2011. And then it even goes further to say if you want it to count, you need these three things. It has to be every year for the rest of their career, and every employee in that class has to be eligible for it. The definition is really, really clear, and I'm very concerned that the way that this is written does not fit that definition. I think we're gonna have to get creative with the language. I'm comfortable with that, but we're gonna need to meet those three requirements in the pensionable, and the pension definition of compensation. It's tough to meet with a bonus.
I can
So-
talk to our pension council a little bit about, I mean, that's a really good point to bring up. We don't want to create some issue down the road.
And it absolutely will.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, because you wear both hats and you get to
Right.
see that. So I'll dig into that a little bit more with the pension council, and we'll try to figure out, I mean, I know what our intent is. I mean,
Right,
written on the sheet of paper.
and we're agreed.
Yeah, you like.
But if the ordinance
Yeah, that's right.
makes that undoable, then we have a problem.
Sure. Okay.
So, Matt, just for food for thought,
Yeah.
current employees will receive 26 equal payments of this amount.
He said for the rest of his career. Are you
Yeah, that's
gonna do that?
part of the,
Understood, but it wouldn't be a lump sum.
no, it's not a lump sum.
Right, that's what I'm saying, is I'm just giving food for thought. If we were to
Break
do
this
it,
up
break
over-
this up over the year into equal payments, then it wouldn't be a lump
We
sum.
could do it,
Warren,
but the guys are gonna want the cash.
Warren, did you hear the proposal?
I heard,
Does that-
but again, it doesn't fix the problem.
Yeah.
So lump sums are defined one way,
Yeah.
and
Let's-
anything else
No, we'll-
pensionable has
I
to
think I understand
carry
the
those
intent,
three things.
So now it's just like a little legal puzzle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let me throw an idea that solves that. Somebody can crunch numbers, and instead of doing as a one-time lump sum, let's make it a small micro percentage increase in their wages. And it would carry here on out, but over the long term, what's 1/10%, or whatever.
Among family.
Yeah, exactly.
I got you. Yeah, that's another way to solve it. So, all right.
I can't
think
use
I
my phone to
understand.
look it up, but I have, and the only reason this caught my eye is because we just had to go through the whole, what's compensation for the pension last year, right? And when it was rewritten, it is very specific
Can we break for a second?
Sure.
Yeah. Are you gonna shut that off?
Yep. I'll
If
shut
you're gonna shut that one off, I'll shut mine off.